Okay, well, good morning, everybody. So excited to be able to share this rollout with you. I guess I would preface things by saying this is a rollout. So we know how that goes, and I would ask for your patience as we kind of get through this process. Um, As we've stated now multiple times, we believe that this is the best thing for our business and for each one of you to be able to make this dive into this new call center and slash CRM solution. However, we recognize it has to get worse before it gets better. It's just kind of the nature of the beast, if you will. So if you would please just bear with us as we try to work through the details of this and try to get us off and running properly, we really would appreciate it. That being said, this system is pretty easy. I've spent a lot of time in it at this point, and we're really not dealing with a great deal of challenges as we kind of approach it. Each of you have received an email with regard to Five9 and Kustomer. As you receive those emails, it's our hope that you've kind of gone through those emails, you've taken a peek at what you received, and hopefully what I'm about to show you is not brand new to you. It's not the first time you're seeing it, but you might have kind of poked around a little bit. If you did, that's great. If you didn't, that's fine too. I think you'll see it's intentionally made to be as simple as possible. So without further ado, I've shared my screen and I'm going to walk you through it. There's a couple things I do want you to point out. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask me as many questions along the way as possible. And I'm going to try to be as available to you as possible throughout the day if you are getting in and starting to decide to get to work today. The leads have started to come in as of today. There's close to 300,000 that are being pushed into the system. That being stated, they do need to be scrubbed, which we outsource that process. And what the scrubbing does is it determines who should be prioritized over others. It looks at different habits of those people. Frankly, it looks at things like, is this doctor in network already? Or if it's a Part D, for example, is the prescribing doctor within the Centene network? It looks at things like if they are CMS validated to have LIS. It looks at what are their spending habits? How do they spend their money? What are their hobbies? What are the things that they care about? And they're, really the value of their home, what kind of magazines they've subscribed to, how do they respond to mail versus the phone, are they likely to pick up the phone? All of these things it looks at, and then it looks at our current clients and says, how close are they to our, how close are these leads, these prospective leads, to the actual leads that we have, the clients that we have already in our system. It's something that we've invested in over the last 6 months, a great amount of time and frankly money to make something like this happen and make it available to you. But it's our intention to take these leads that do come in house and prioritize them. So that takes a few more days. For that reason, what we did is we put into the system for this small group of people that are starting today. We gave you kind of leads that were placed into the system in September. So they are not the brand new leads, but they have never been worked by us with regard to the month of September. Each month we get a new batch of leads. They go into the system. These are the leads that have been left out. We did not give to anybody throughout the month of September yet. So that's the leads that are in there. Hopefully we're going to work through these leads pretty fast, and hopefully you're going to get the new batch in as quickly as we can. It's our goal to be able to kind of see a quick change, and as we start to use the details of the system and the benefits of the system, you'll start to see the changes happen. So without further ado, you received your email from Kustomer. Kustomer is the site that you're actually going to be signing into first. It's diversifiedcompanies.kustomerapp.com, Kustomer with the K, right? So when you go into that site, you can see my screen, yes?
Yes.
Sorry. Okay, thank you. So when you go into that site, you're going to see it automatically logs me in. You want to go up to this top here where it says activate notifications and click allow. If yours says that, you definitely want to make sure that it is allowing for those notifications, because there's going to be times where certain things pop up, like your client's birthdays or somebody that you reminded yourself to call back on. The brains behind this whole call center solution are within the customer application. That being said, in order to simplify things as best we possibly can, we're going to be relying heavily upon this solution right here. This is called the Five9 call center application. So you also received an application or an email which gave you your username and password for Five9. These two things combined together, these two applications combined together, become the powerful source of leads that you have in your hands. Five9 is sourcing or is housing all of our leads and prioritizing which ones should be called next. And then Five9 is going about it, dialing them as efficiently as possible to make sure that as we dial through, we're dialing the most important, not only the most important prioritized leads, but also as fast as we can so that you're not wasting time. It's also dictating the number that's going to pop up on the DID, on the person's caller ID. So you'll see that as you're dialing out, you're going to be dialing out with a number that's local to the person that's you're calling. And that comes through this application. So when you're looking at these two things together, that's the reason why you receive two emails. Your customer app is the one that you're signing into first. You're placing your name and your phone and password into there. And then you're going to be using the adapter, which, like I said, is located right here, which connects us into our call center application. Any questions thus far? Anybody do this and find it pretty simple to work with?
Hey, Mike, it's Brenda Mondock. Can you hear me?
Yes, Brenda, yeah.
I tried to sign in there and it gave me, oh, what just happened? I lost it. It told me that my ID was not, my station ID was not valid.
Yep, so I'm going to get there in a second. So
okay, that's it. Thank you, sir.
No problem, Brenda. Thank you. That's good news because that's what I wanted you to, that's what I was hoping somebody was going to say. So you should have been able to get into your customer portal here with your username and password that was sent to you. And then it'll come up with this next stage where it asks for your soft phone station number, right? And each of you in the station number with that in that email. What I was told as of about an hour ago, that needed to update. They did put the station numbers in, and that some of them were active and some of them were not yet. Did anybody have it active? Because I know mine is working, so I'm assuming that some of you have it working if you tried it. Is that a no? I'm sorry. I guess.
Yeah. Mike, no. I went through our whole team. None of us are active yet.
Okay. I will reach it back out to them. This was the #1 hang up that they had in getting it going with that station number. You'll see mine. I know mine's active, and they were, like I said, they said that they were going to be loading and it was going to be taking time. But in my last conversation with them on Friday, I sent it over. By 4 o'clock, they said it was all loaded. And then I talked to them an hour ago and I tested a couple of them and they weren't. So like I said, they said it takes a little bit of time, but they're fixing it.
Mike,
yes, ma'am.
This is Jackie Altman. I'm currently logged into the customer app. However, I'm not logged into Five9 yet. I do see the icon over to the left. So is that where I should put in the username and password that was sent in that second email?
Correct. Yep. So you're going to get a chance to change it. So just so you know, the default is the div family #1 is the email password. So when you click out of this, I'll show you again one more time. So it'll come up with your username, which for yours is J Outman, right? And then your password, the div family #1, and it'll sign you in. The next portion is in that email. It says your station ID. So you click on soft phone and your station number, mine is 3,898. You're going to place that number right there and then hit confirm. Now, like I said, it's possible that some of you have it working because they did say they're loading each one of them into the system and it's slowly happening.
Hey, Mike?
Yep.
So looking at your number compared to mine, there was a missing 0. So I just put that in and it's working. So if people are having failure, I think there should be an extra 0 in between the 3 and their actual number.
It's very likely that that's the case. I actually went through that this morning when I was, Stephen, that's awesome. Thank you. And I'm just checking a couple of your emails right now. Yes, guys, I'm sorry. That's exactly what it is. Most of you, in your email, I put 300 instead of 3,000. It's 300 and then the last 3 digits that you have in your email, and everyone will sign in. Sorry about that. Thank you. So that's a huge catch. I caught it this morning on mine. I should have suggested that that might be the case for everybody, but that's exactly what it is. And then you'll sign in. I'm looking through everybody's emails that I sent you, and they're all off by missing that 0. So whatever your number says, it's 300 and then your 3-digit number.
So do we want to install the browser extension or?
Yes.
Okay.
So click yes on the browser extension, and then you'll follow through with the next step. Sorry, guys. Major fail on my end, missing that 0. Okay, so now now that you have your number in, the next thing that comes up is a station check. The station check is there to make sure that the headset that you're using is able to be heard. So, and that it's actually connected. When you heard mine, we'll click restart your station. You'll hear beep, beep, beep. Did you guys hear that?
Yes.
I heard it, but mine is saying the soft phone station requires additional components.
Yep. So you'll see that there's a spot where it says install, and you see that you have to install that browser connection, and once that browser connection is selected, then you're able to get to this point where you can confirm your output and your input. Generally, this is going to be it's going to say the words like your headset. For me, I just have built-in output and built-in microphone because I don't have a headset connected to my laptop. But you know, the headset that you were sent or that you chose to use is going to be the one that you're going to hear it on. And then you're going to hit confirm. Okay, so now you're in the system. You have your application that's sitting here is your customer application, right? And then here is your phone, your actual phone. Within your phone, you're going to be able to make all different calls. You're going to be able to make your changes. And like I said, it's going to dictate based on the call whether or not you want to use your, when the call center is active and you're in an active mode, it's going to be dialing using a DID, which customers recognizing and routing directly back to you to make sure that you get that call back because you were the last person that called it. The important part to remember there is that you have to stay in ready mode in order to be able to get calls, right? So if you're signed in, then the system will know, okay, this person wants this call. It will also set you up with a voicemail, and they'll be able to set you up. If you made a call to a person, they'll come back to your voicemail and they'll get routed back to your voicemail. Additionally, when those calls are made, you're able to do a lot of different functions within it. And I'll explain now what that means. At the top, you have this option where it says not ready, and then ready voice, ready for, awaiting inbound call, break, follow-up, work, lunch, and team meeting. When you are in not ready mode, it means that you're not ready to start actively dialing. It does not mean that you can't receive an inbound call. You're here at work right now. Like this would be an active status. However, you're not actively working to book appointments or to make sales. When you put it into ready mode, you're ready for voice or voicemail to come to you. Okay. Now, each of you have skills that have been associated to your name. For example, sorry, I'll do it this way. Stephen, you know, we know that you're working in North Carolina, South Carolina, Arizona. Because of that, you've been associated to your name the ability to get leads that are in those states. And all throughout. So whatever states that you're licensed in, I've told the system already, this person is capable of receiving leads in those states. Some leads, we have more states with more leads. So the list is going to be longer and you'll find more activity going on there. Some are a little bit less. Some are going to be pushed to you, and depending on whoever is working right now, those leads are going to be working faster. Like I said, this is a temporary solution until the actual leads come in from Centene, which we were told was going to happen on Thursday, and as of this morning have not been associated to our account. So we're still waiting on those. But this is a kind of a test model. Like I said, these are all brand new leads as far as we're concerned. They have not been worked. So I'm not concerned with you being able to set up opportunities for AEP to be able to sell. When you're in ready status, the call begins. Okay. This is for you. It's different. I would ask you not to go into ready status right now because it actively will begin calling leads that can be associated with you. I'm in it to show you how it can work. Okay. The next step would be you want to sign off, right? So you can sign off via e-meeting. Let's say we're having a meeting and you want to use this as an opportunity to call in, or I actually have this here specifically for our employees when there's a staff meeting in the morning and you want to recognize that you are working, sign in through this account. You could take your lunch, right? And that kind of signs you out for the day for that portion. You follow up work, meaning you're kind of sending some emails or checking on different things for the client. You have your break, and then you have your awaiting inbound call. I want to the reason why I'm going through this right now fast is because for most of you, you're 1099 people. These other things don't really matter. Awaiting inbound call does. Awaiting inbound call means you just did the outbound script. You went through the whole thing. You find out that the person's qualified for this opportunity and should be sold an account, and now you're waiting for them to call you back. You said, okay, Mrs. Jones, here's your opportunity. Here's the deal. I need you to call me back. This is where you set your status to awaiting inbound call, and at that point you're ready to go. Any questions? So, for example, if I were to make the call to a client, it would be routed back to me once that happens. So let's go in and we're going to make a call right now to my cell phone. It's going to be tough to my cell phone. Actually, we're going to call Akram. 732.
Hello, Michael.
Yep.
What if we're still not in? Because again, mine is saying it's telling me to install browser extension. You know where you said click on download and install software?
Yep. Yeah, you want to install that browser. You want to install the browser extension.
Okay, I tried that. And oh gosh, I don't know what's going on here. It didn't.
I tried that and it took me to Chrome. It wouldn't let me get further than Chrome.
I had to refresh mine after.
Yeah, that's where I am too.
Yep, there is a spot where you can go back in after it's all installed, click refresh, and it should be it should update again so that your extension is there. And if anybody does have an issue, we have Nikki Iusolino on our call right now. She's been playing with this all weekend, so she was able to get her system up and running. And our intention is if you want to reach out to her with those little tech issues, like getting your Chrome extension set up, she'll be available to you. She is, we're all new to this, so this is all a new experience. So I wouldn't say that she's an expert on it yet, but she's awesome at being able to solve challenges. So it's my hope that you can go to her directly. Nick, if you would put your number in the chat so that they can call you if they need to, so you could kind of troubleshoot that, I'd appreciate it. Whatever number you want.
Thank you.
Hey, Mike.
Sure, not a problem.
Thanks. Yep.
This is Donna Stewart. Good morning.
Good morning.
I can't minimize the Zoom session to do this simultaneously. So would it be okay if I do this after the Zoom meeting?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. That was my intention. I would prefer that you see what I'm doing. If you feel like you're tech savvy enough, then, kind of have at it, have some fun with it. It really is not a difficult process.
It doesn't look too difficult.
Yeah, but if you could just follow right now, that would be fine, and you can kind of sign in and do it on your own afterwards.
Okay. That's kind of what I was thinking, but I just wanted to make for sure that that was the plan.
No problem. So
Thank
you'll see here that I'm going to call Akram, okay? And when you're making an outbound call, this is my template to force it to look like the way that you would see it when you make an outbound call coming into you, okay? So I'll click dial, and you'll hear the ringing. Akram's going to pick up in a second.
Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Akram. How are you on this beautiful day?
Fantastic.
Akram, WellCare, your D provider has, I'm just kidding. Okay, so we have, if you would just mute your side, Akram, just keep us on the call, but mute your phone, your cell phone.
Okay.
Okay, so now you'll see something really cool happened here. We made the call to Akram, but did you see this background image that popped up at the same time? Okay, this is customers kind of tracking of what's happening on the call center side. So we're starting to see like how this all kind of comes together and the how we can start to understand the process of being able to call through our clients. I'm just going to change something in here and make this Akram Jacob. Okay. And just because I want you to see that this is how this kind of happens, where we can begin to track our clients. If Akram was a lead that we were calling through, when that happened, and we can hang up, Akram, I'm gonna call you again just to show it again, okay? So how to hang up the call, I have to set my disposition for Akram. So we'll put that Akram is a, I don't know, we want to call back Akram during AEP, and we end interaction. Oh, what happens is it forces me, okay, well, when do you want to call him back for AEP? We'll go into that in a second. Let's just do callback, because for now, we were able to hang up that call, and now it's moving on to the next call. So if I were in your status, right, I would be on voice, ready all, right? And now I'm going to start making next call, and it's going to just keep going and push me to the next call. But let's call Akram again. Right? So we dial Akram again. He's going to pick up. He'll mute himself. Now see what happened? The screen pop occurred where Akram's information popped up right away. We know that I've talked to him in the past. We know that he's, that it's been an outbound call, and his information is here. Had he been a lead, we'd have more information over on this side of things with regard to what the information that we know from a lead, essentially. Okay. I want to keep it up here for a second, Akram, just so that I could show some other opportunities within the call center. So you can put the call on hold. The person, you're still able to talk to, but you're on hold, right? You can mute your call, unmute your call. This is similar to your screen if you have an iPhone. It's very similar, right? You can conference somebody else in. So let's say you wanted to call, I don't know, Jeanette, for example, and you needed to transfer it to Jeanette. You can transfer the call to Jeanette. You can, you could conference Jeanette in and the three of you could talk, or you could transfer the call to Jeanette as a warm transfer, meaning you speak and then hang up, or a cold transfer, meaning you're just transferring to Jeanette, she just deals with it. I doubt that you guys would have a need for those things, but I'm just explaining that that's what you can do. There's an IM opportunity. This we can absolutely use quickly. If you're having a challenge, let's say you need some help as you're on the call with this person, right? And this person, you could help them, but you just can't figure out the opportunity to get them a solution. If you go into IM and you put click here on contacts. I'm going to show you the whole solution. I would have just been able to just put in Nicole more and she would pop up. But I'm going to show you this option here. So it's popping up. We'll give it a second. So you'll see these are all the people that I can IM, instant message, right? So I can click on Nicole Moore, which I don't see her there, but I don't know why I don't see her there. She's definitely a supervisor within the system. But let me just choose Akram because we're dealing with Akram. So Akram pops up, and now I can start a message. Hey, Akram, help. I don't know what to do. Call, right? So I can go in there, instant message Akram while I'm talking to this person and start this conversation. Akram, if he's signed in, which he's not obviously right now, unless he, I'm assuming that you're not signed in, Akram. Akram would be able to respond with, sure, give me a second. I'm on a call. I'm going to hop off this call and listen in. Or why don't you conference me in at extension 854? I'll be able to listen and I'll speak if necessary. Or you can do certain things there, or you can get Akram to help out, or Nicole or Jeff, any of us that you're looking for support with, will be able to just through the instant message feature. Obviously, this is a great opportunity because if we're signed in, then we're there to help, right? You can set a reminder for yourself. Look, the deal is, Akram, I can't help you this minute. Akram, the client, Akram, not Akram, the supervisor. Akram, I can't help you, client Akram, right now, because you really need an SCP. And good news is October 15th, AEP is coming. What I'm going to do, Akram, is I'm going to set you up on October 15th. We're going to talk at 10 a.m. Okay. Put me on your refrigerator right now. Write it on there, 10 a.m. We're going to schedule the talk. Oh, sorry about that. We're going to plan on talking on October 15th at 10 a.m. And we're going to catch back up at that point. Save, and you're good to go. And now at 10 a.m., you're going to get a reminder. I could do it right now if you like to prove it. So we have a reminder set in the system. I'm going to end my call. Going to force me to disposition that I have an appointment scheduled with Akram, end interaction. And oh, look at that. Here's the reminder. I got to call Akram. Oh no, I better not. I could do it now. I could dismiss the call, or I could just snooze on it. I'll dismiss it now. But that's the way that works. And there's my reminder. I still got to call Akram, right? Go back into Five9, the home. We have our missed call section. If you were to receive a call, you missed a call, that's where it goes. This is where your voicemail is going to be. You're going to be able to set up your voicemail down and lower. Conversations, any conversations that you're having, you can go back and save all of those. You can look back upon what somebody told you to say in the past. Here's a big one, adds DNC. It's also a disposition within when you're on the call. You can just do not call Akram, which tells Five9, tells customer, and tells Centene, we're not calling this person anymore. I'm going kind of fast because this is pretty simple. If anybody has an iPhone, it's made to be very similar to that. If you do, if you have any questions, feel free to stop me. Okay, so let's go.
Mike, I have a question.
Yep.
What number does this call from? Like, is it going to be a local number, or is it going to say it's all out of Jersey, or how does that work?
It's a local number direct to the person that's the client, right? So if you're calling Maine, for example, but you're sitting in Connecticut, it's going to be a 207 number. If you're calling Jersey, but you're sitting in Connecticut, it's going to be a 201 number because that's the client's area code. So it keeps it a local number. We've actually purchased somewhere in the neighborhood of 250 phone lines that whatever person you're calling will see it as a local conversation that they're having with somebody. And if they call back that number, the system is intuitive enough to know, okay, I got to call. The last person I called was Chris, so it's going to route it back to Chris. I think that was Chris, was it? I'm not sure.
Yeah. I called my cell phone off of the system because I'm all logged in, and it for some reason popped up with a Jersey number. But
well, okay. So here's the thing: if you're not in the system already, well, there's two parts here. One, we were told that the DIDs would be in place today. It's possible that when I say DIDs, all of the phone numbers that we ordered would be in place today. It's possible that all of those lines have not been loaded into the call center. We're working as fast as we can to get you guys up and running. So that could be number one reason it just doesn't have your local number yet on your cell. Could be one option. The second option, and I'm learning as I go here, could be that because you're not a contact in the system, it didn't know that it needed to call DID that way.
Would it matter that I have a Massachusetts cell phone number and we're not selling in Mass?
Yes.
Yes. So do you guys have any
that we only have.
Right this second, but I will by this afternoon.
Are you gonna have?
Okay. It's a good point, Chris. We didn't buy local numbers in Massachusetts because we don't need them there because we're not selling there. So that's exactly the reason why.
Gotcha. Okay.
So here's just to go through the settings section. You have your audio devices. This is an opportunity for you to check your thing. One thing that they do highly recommend that we do is every time you go into when you set up, let's put it that way, you do an echo call. And the echo call, I won't do it now, but it basically just tests your technology to make sure that it's coming in clean. You'll hear what it does here. I'll try it. It may be an issue. Yeah. Hold on. I gotta go to not ready. Let's go to awaiting inbound call. So if I go into settings, I click on echo call.
To test the voice quality
Can you
of
guys
your
hear that?
call, please record a message after the beep. Your message will be played back to you after you
Can
are
you hear it or
done.
no? Hey everybody, I'm not sure if you can hear me, but if you can, I'm recording right now an echo call. Oh, you're not supposed to
To
hit
test
stop.
the voice quality of your call, please record a message after the beep. Your message will be played back to you after you are done.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you guys hear me? I hope you can hear the recording because it's about to play back for me.
Can hear you fine.
You can
If
hear
you heard your message and are satisfied with the audio quality, then you have successfully completed this test. If you did not hear your message played back to you, or if you are not satisfied with the audio quality, please check your microphone and recording settings and try again.
Do you hear?
You may also check your Five9 documentation or contact our customer support team.
Did you guys hear all that?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was looking for you to hear. Okay, so that's the process, and it'll help you to make sure that your call quality is strong. Your greeting. Unfortunately, there is no way for us to be able to record via your phone, your microphone. They basically, when they shared this with me, they kind of shared it with like we're sorry, we know that this is really annoying, but we haven't set it up this way. So you have to go to a website to set up your voicemail. And this is not something very difficult, frankly. You go to Audacity.com. It's you can see my screen, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So if you click in, if you go into Audacity, within this site, I'm just finding it here. You can download the option to make your own voicemail and send it over via WMV. You could also do it within Windows Movie Player. Wave Player. You can also do it as a voicemail, and then on your voice memo on your iPhone, and then send it, and we can get it uploaded into your account. There's lots of different ways that we can get your voicemail in. But we need to send it as a WAV file, and the one way that would be the easiest in terms of just being able to record our voice as we're speaking is not available. And Nikki can definitely help you through that part of things if you need some help. Sound alerts. Here's important. Okay, when you click on sound alerts, I want you to make sure you click every single one of these. This will let you know that if anything does happen, you're being told while you're logged in. So specifically, if you don't do this and you have an inbound call, you're not going to know the inbound call came in because it's not going to tell you. But I think it's best just to click all of them to have everything available. It doesn't mean the other person hears you. It's just you. Here's where you would change your password, and that's your settings. Help. Here's a great place for you to be able to get support so that you can kind of figure out these things on your own if you need. There's the agent guide, which is a PDF, goes through all the details of the process, and it helps you kind of understand. One thing to be important is we're using the agent desktop toolkit adapter. We're not using the full Five9 capability, which is a different process. It's a different program, and this is an upgraded version of it. So you going to to anything other than where you need to make sure when it says help, it's the agent desktop toolkit that you're using, because this is a more advanced program and you're not going to get the help from the other toolkits that they have available. About tells you what would be like what version you're using. If you're talking to customer support and they ask you for what version you're using, that's how you find it. If you go into help and you do voice connectivity test, you definitely want to try that on your first day, because it's going to give you the ability to determine whether or not the quality of your internet is strong. So you click here, I accept. You're going to go down, you're going to download the test, and then you're going to run it. And it takes a few minutes. It's about 10-15 minutes to run, but it goes through the whole process to make sure that your internet is fast enough to be able to handle the call center. It's a pretty low expectation, so I think you'll be fine. Logging. If you're on the phone with them with customer support, they may ask you for a call log. Don't worry about the screen unless they ask you. And finally, request help. This directly affects when somebody within either your administrator or your supervisor who can help you through the process of being able to make Five9 work. I would ask you not to use this function right now, as we're all getting up and running on it. And the administrators and the supervisors are not even trained up on it. So the goal is that we get you off and running, you work with us, you be as understanding as possible through the process, and then we kind of go from there. So this is how you sign off. This is your home screen, right? You click on the power button. This is how you would sign off, end your shift, go to lunch, and log out, right? And that's kind of the simplest way to sign off of the system and wrap your day. Outside of that right now, frankly, you don't need to worry about. The only reason why you need to kind of get involved in this area is you're basically, because it's before October 15th, you're asking the system to remember who you called and get them to call you back, anybody that you know you can call back. That's really the process of what we're going through right now. So it's a matter of going into the system, signing in, doing everything I showed you. I'm doing it again just so you can see it. We heard our beeping, confirm. You're signed in. It's telling me I got to make sure I call this person still, right? I sign in, ready for all, voicemail, and I'm ready to go. As I make my calls, let's call Akram again just because it's easy to call. Dial. Thanks for working with me on this, Akram. You there? Maybe you're not working with me on this.
You're not calling me, Mike.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Actually, Mike, you were calling Uncle Joey and Aunt Fran.
Yeah, I just called my aunt. I watched the number. I'm like, whoa. I
saw the number there, and I said, wait a minute, that's Uncle Joey and Aunt Fran.
Hey, Michael, before you go further, can I ask a quick question?
Yep.
Okay, so I did get the browser extension downloaded by refreshing the screen. So right now it's just saying completed. Now, is this where I plug in the headset to make sure the sound is there? Do I go to download and install cell phone now?
Yep. That's where you go next.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Now I'm calling Akram. So, as I call Akram, you see screen pops Akram Jacob, right? He comes up. Here's the call. There's my last call to him.
Sounds right, yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. There's all the past calls. Now, here's the thing. You can set your disposition. You want to do that. But one other thing that you can do here, because if you know a lot of information about this person, let's say you're gathering from them that as you're talking to them, you've got their doctor name, and you don't want to like lose all of that stuff because you're getting somewhere. We would go back into the Akram Jacob call, right? And I won't disposition right now, but you can click here. You see how there's info, And then there's comments. This is the past calls that we talked about already and the interactions already. But here's where you would put your comments. These are your comments. They're not going to be shared. Another spot that you can put them is right here, right? You could put your notes in on him. This would be actually shared in there for you. I would highly recommend that you do it here as opposed to here. This option is a good area, but it's stored and it's only for you. And frankly, we can't be certain that it'll be there for you in a year from now. This one we can. I want to point out the difference. That's why I didn't spend the time here to learn. You got your info. You may have been playing around and said, oh, cool, this is where I write notes. We really want to see you put notes here. In this section, you can also do things like, see how I just put the and sign? You can put it, you can reference, say, Jeanette. You know, I want Jeanette to know that Akram Jacob just told me that the sky is green, right? And then I post a note. Now, Jeanette, when I put that at sign, and I'm saying it specifically for Jeanette, because let's say you just made a recording and you know that that was at Jeanette. Sale made. Download clip. Post note. Now she knows she's got to get that and submit it to Centene so that we can get credit for it and get it into the system. So it's pretty simple. It's just the at sign in the notes, and kind of goes from there. You can ask questions within here as well. This is I guess what I'm trying to show you is the full capability of the system that we have in place lies in the brains, which is customer. The call center lies in the action of the running system of just being able to make dials. The more you put here, the longer that data is saved for us. Whereas this system is kind of a temporary solution just to get the calls being made. It's also recording the call, and then we attach it to each client. So we'll just end the call here. Once again, it reminds me I can't do anything until I set the disposition. It's taking care of that process, and we'll say that that call was Dr. Not a Network, enter a transaction. I will, Akram, do one more, please. I'm sorry, I just realized when I went through that. I didn't go through the dispositions, and I think we're pretty much good at that point, unless you have any questions. Appointment scheduled, obviously that means that that's the result, is that you scheduled an appointment. For most people on this call, that will not be you. That will be for our appointment setters. Awaiting inbound call for sale, that's you. Call back, that's you. And when you click call back, it's going to tell you, okay, when do you want to call back? Call during AAP, it's going to tell you, when do you want to call back during AAP? Deceased, it's just going to close out that lead. Disconnected, it will try it again, because just because it was disconnected today doesn't mean it's always disconnected, knowing our population. Do not call, it will never call that number again. Doctor Not a Network, it'll store it, and we would ask you, if the doctor's not a network, that you always put who the doctor was. We've had many situations where we've been able to go to Centene and say, look, you're missing this doctor. This agent keeps coming up against this doctor over and over and over and over and over again. You got to fix it. And they have. So we make sure that you place in the comment, this is the name of the doctor. Language barrier. When you put it, make sure that, I believe, you just try that. No, it didn't do it. Okay, I can have them force what language was it. And I will do that because it should have done that. Akram, I'm calling you back. When it does that, it makes a big difference to be able to know what that language barrier was, so that we could route it in the correct direction. One thing I would point out is that we are doing our absolute best to route calls to people who speak that language. It's some research that we've done to be able to make it happen, and we're getting there with it. And we know that it's available, but it's not in the system yet because of the data coming back and getting scrubbed. Left message. Beautiful thing about the left message is that if you have a message saved, it will automatically leave the message and get you to the next call. So you're not going to be making multiple messages. You're just going to leave one message within that file, and it's going to record it. Not interested, not qualified, sale, scheduled callback, wrong number. Scheduled callback is going to tell you this is when you have to call back. Okay. It keeps the ones that you use the most, but we don't use that many, so you shouldn't have a challenge just sorting through the list. And transaction set disposition was set, and we can move on. Any other questions? All right, well, once again, it's a pretty straightforward system. Once you're logged in, you'll find it's pretty simple. The calls are there, the leads are there, and you'll start to create some problems for us. And that's what we're looking for you guys to do, honestly, is to find the problems, find the kinks, and then be patient with us as we work through the kinks. If you have any questions, I'm available. Gabby's available, extension 841. And Nikki is available, and I believe she put her number in there. Yep, she's got a 568-4077. Please write that down. She'll work through all those challenges. I would prefer right now that you go to Gabby. So if you didn't see the number, it's 973-56. I'm sorry. I would prefer that you go to Nikki right now. Gabby's got a couple of projects she's working on. It's 973-568-4077. If you can't understand the language barrier, just put language barrier. It's not a forced language right now, so that's fine. Don't worry about it. If it's not able to discern, I'll keep that one as well as a solution within the secondary disposition.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have one more question, please.
Yeah.
This is Donna. Could you address the Audacity voicemail thing again? Is it just audacity.com or what's the?
So it's the Audacity download. You have to download Audacity. They it's not the website. Like I said, I'm sorry. It brings you to the open source. So you have to click here. See this as of 2019, July 14th. If you click here, you have to basically download this application for your computer and then create it through there. It's messy, we apologize, but it is what it is at this point.
And you go to audacityteam.org to download that?
Yeah, that's where it goes to.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Or Mike, this is Brenda. I just want to verify, or we could do it as a voice memo on our iPhone and send it to you, correct?
Yeah, if you would send it to Nikki, I think either Nikki or Gabby will be able to convert it. And so where my head is at, and we hadn't talked this through, but Nikki or Gabby will work through it. They're both awesome with being able to solve problems. So I think the solution would be that they download Audacity, frankly, and you guys just send a voice memo and then put it into, and then they can convert it into WMV, a WAV file, and then you can upload and then send it back to you and upload it. That's probably the simplest way to make this happen for all of us.
Thank you.
And sorry to kind of do that on the fly, guys, but I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out. I gave you a big plug in there about how awesome you are and being able to work on the fly. So I'm sure you'll step up.
I'm sure we can handle this.
Any other questions?
I have a couple that you might want to talk to me about offline, excuse me, about getting set up in the state of Nevada.
Yeah, so we can talk that offline. State-wise, we'll kind of work that through with Dominica.
Okay.
So that you're looking for, we can kind of figure those out together.
Okay, so should I just call Dominique on that one?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Any other questions? All right, guys, thank you so much for your patience with this. Like I said, this is it's a learning experience for all of us, but we are certain that it's the right step for our business. And I think you'll see right away that you're going to get the help that you need to make this happen and get off and running.
Thank you, Michael. It seems to be a really good CRM. So
excellent. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you, you too.